if you'll be my bodyguard, I can be your long lost pal. I can call you Betty, and Betty, when you call me, you can call me out, call me out.
Don't cry for me, MusiPals. Don't cry for me, MusiPals. What did you think of the MusiPals?
I kept my promise.
That was a disgrace.
How dare you disparage Ms. Patti LuPone in such a way?
Patti LuPone, all up in your bone.
Goodness gracious.
Hey everybody! As we promised in the previous episode, that introduction went way better than the Sweeney Todd introduction.
Very true. Very true.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Absolutely nailed it.
Booked it.
Welcome to the show. This is MusiPals, and it's a podcast about musicals for our MusiPals. I'm your sweet, sweet little child of a wonderful Argentinian woman, Musanoob Dan.
And
That's what you're going with?
I'm a military man turned president, Katie Yielding. And with us today,
Welcome, Colonel Yielding.
that was Perón. We have,
Well, I know. I said Colonel Yielding.
oh,
Yeah. Yep.
all right.
Okay.
We're done now. With us today, we have Dan's lovely sister.
My sister, guys.
We have Melissa St. Clair.
It's Family Matters.
Hi.
How
Hey.
exciting.
Welcome.
Very exciting.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
She's
Been waiting.
a long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah.
True.
We're so glad you were able to join us.
yes.
I'm so glad to be here / incredibly anxious. My palms are sweaty.
Are your knees weak, arms are heavy? Is there vomit on your sweater already?
It was mom's spaghetti.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's a song I do not know.
Oh, it's Eminem.
Detroit's own.
Yeah, it's a Michigan
Detroit's
thing.
own. Yeah.
Speaking of mom spaghetti,
cold in the D.
fun story before you do your introduction, because we're going to delay that. Before, Katie, this is for you. You already know this.
Okay.
Before we came here, my mom, who has just left Chicago for a weekend of family fun, she called and said, "Hey, is there a way we can listen to your podcast on our way home?" And I thought, "Oh, that's wonderful. Yes. Here's how you do it." And she goes, "Okay." And I gave her the instructions, and she goes, "Okay, so what time do you go on then?" Oh, Ma, you can't.
Oh,
it's not a
sweet
live
Mom.
thing.
And may I also note that mom has shown all but zero interest in your podcast until, in fact, I've been a guest.
That's a fact. That's an absolute fact. I can corroborate
We know who's
that
the favorite.
as evidence. That's
Actually, you're the favorite. I don't know.
I think that the I've fallen from grace in many ways.
Oh, it's because
We're gonna
Liv has
get-
pink hair, isn't it? Sorry, Liv. I love your hair.
It is because my girlfriend has pink hair. All right, Melissa, who, for the audience at home, this is maybe a nickname. I have a nickname for Melissa that I often use, so don't be confused. I call her Sis, which is just a shortened version
Derivative
of sister.
English derivative
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the word sister.
Is,
Yes.
is a noun. So if you hear me saying sis, that's all I mean. Just sister.
Thank you
or
for
Melissa.
clarifying.
Yeah, yeah. So Melissa, sorry,
Yes.
I did it again
Dan.
already.
Yo.
Tell us about yourself, and tell us, of course, why you chose Evita.
I am your much older sister. We are 11 years apart. You were,
Yeah.
in fact, an accident.
I was, as were you, though.
No,
Well, you
no.
were a surprise. I was an accident.
Yeah, and we like to always remember that.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
I also was called the milkman's baby, not once but 3 times this weekend.
Yes.
So
And your nickname growing up was Boo Boo because
yeah,
you were.
because
an
I was a boo boo.
Oh, no.
Can't
Daniel.
can't put a Band-Aid over this guy. Tell you what.
Yeah.
I'm a lesion that's going to keep on bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a semi-professional singer.
Ooh.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
I get paid money to do that.
Plug that
Yes,
shit.
that's professional.
Yeah, that's-
semi-pro.
No,
Oh,
that's
I think
legit.
the definition
someone's
of
paying
professional
you-
is the
Yeah.
moment you get paid to do the
Okay.
thing you're doing is
Well,
you're
I
a professional.
also have a full-time job.
Well, yeah,
with
that's
salary and everything else. But
That's your grind.
That I was led to, or my interest in singing, it led to an interest in musicals and an enjoyment of them.
Ooh.
Yes, I started many in high school. Many high school.
Yes.
Many
And by
seems
many,
a
I mean,
stretch.
absolutely, I mean 4.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
To star in 4
No,
musicals.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
never,
just
never
was
a lead role.
in-
Absolutely,
Well,
never a
yeah.
lead role.
Still
No.
star.
Yeah. Still star in our hearts.
Yes. So I'm a history.
1,000 stars, in fact.
Okay.
On this
Here we
note.
go. There it is. Nice
See?
work.
Yep. See.
So what else? So
Why'd you choose Evita? Yeah.
I chose Evita because I love history and I love the history of this show. And I was introduced to Evita through this movie, which I saw for the first time on an airplane to France, to visit France.
Oh.
That's fun.
With our mother.
You were in some ways like Evita, although she didn't go to France. She went
I
to
was
Spain.
high flying adored, in
That's
fact,
right.
when I watched this movie for the first
Yeah.
time. And it wasn't until maybe a couple of years ago that I started listening to the original Broadway cast recording and fell in love with the Patti LuPone, Mandy Patinkin version.
Love the name Mandy Patinkin. I gotta
Great
tell you, I don't
name,
know
great
who that
man.
is, though.
America's Sweetheart, Mandy Patinkin.
He's in, what's that Showtime show he's in?
Oh, good question. It's like about
With Claire Danes.
the government.
Well, I'll
perhaps.
tell you, Patti LuPone, who I had not known.
Yeah. Life Goes On.
Patti LuPone,
Oh.
who I had not known,
Yes.
is Frank Recitano's mom in the television show 30 Rock.
Yes, exactly. And she was just on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend for an episode
She was
too.
also on a show in the 90s called Life Goes On with the mentally challenged son named Corky, if you'll recall.
I don't recall.
Mandy
and
Patinkin.
many musicals.
But Mandy Patinkin was also in The Princess Bride
Never saw
in
it.
Dago, Montana.
What?
Never saw it.
That's such a you movie.
Yeah, you would love
You would love that movie.
I'll have to watch it.
But what is
It
that?
was on Netflix, but I don't know if it is anymore. But you need to watch it.
Well, I'll have to watch it. Yeah,
have to.
I feel like someone's told me that before.
Like we should
It's not
stop
a first.
right now and put it on.
All right, let's do that.
It's so important.
All right,
that
and
you
this has
watch
been
this.
MusiPals. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for being here. We're gonna go just
We're gonna go watch Princess Bride.
watch Princess Bride.
Thanks for having me.
I will say though, in reference to the Patti LuPone, that is one thing that I have a fringe benefit, so to speak, of being on MusiPals is knowing that these somewhat minor actors in many of the things that I love are like massive Broadway stars, like
Yeah.
Patti LuPone, who I literally, and probably just because I'm a boob who lacks culture, she's just this like second-rate character's mom in one of my favorite shows, and turns out she's got an incredible voice.
Broadway
and
great.
starred in Evita.
One of the greats.
Yeah, just Broadway legend. maybe.
Originated the.
I had no idea.
Well, no, I guess she was the Broadway first American version.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
And that's happened several times over. That there's been like, I know this person.
Yeah.
Wow, she's like important.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. So
Who would have known?
good fringe benefit.
Yeah.
Of the MusiPals.
Because we've talked about Patty on here before, I think. Like you
Yeah,
know
but
the
those
name.
names go right over my head
Well-
because you say everyone is a queen. and
She is the queen.
She is a
don't
queen.
know what to do about
As a
it.
listener of this podcast, you do describe many women as queens.
Okay, but
which
they
I
are.
appreciate. And in this case, I can agree. Patty LuPone is a queen.
Yeah. In reference to fringe benefits, there's so many benefits that we get from doing MusiPals, like having so many wonderful friends who tweet us and join us for shows and tell us that they enjoy what we're doing here, and watching some great shows as well. One thing that's not a benefit is watching the show Evita. Is not a benefit.
The movie.
of this
The movie
podcast.
Evita. The
Well,
movie is a skata.
I'll
And
just
may I say
Yeah,
one thing?
yeah, yeah.
I was remiss in adding when you asked me why I chose this
Yeah.
this musical.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is in fact my favorite musical. The music of it is just very fulfilling to me. I also feel the movie is a pile of garbage, and the idea of torturing you with 2 hours and 15 minutes of this garbagey pile with Madonna in it was brought me real joy.
You conniving son of a bitch.
No, that was a
She's
purposeful
sitting
move.
on the couch.
Evil
we
plan.
watched it this weekend. She's sitting on the couch, and she's like, "Oh, do you hate it? I feel so bad if you hate it. Do you hate it?" And I'm just sitting there. I'm not going to tell you anything. I want authentic reactions. That was some of the worst 2.5 hours I've ever had to endure.
So just to quickly point out, I did take handwritten notes, and at the beginning I wrote, I'm recalling immediately how garbagey this movie is, / loving that I chose it to make Dan watch it.
It's a disaster of
I've
a
never
musical.
made it through the whole thing. I've never seen all of it. I can't make it through it.
Come on! Well, then why
I have tried 3 separate times to make it through the whole movie because I saw it on Broadway, Dan, and that's enough.
Oh my God. It's just, it drones on. It's Madonna.
It's so bad.
dancing
She's
around.
so bad. She's so
terrible.
white. Don't play her.
Why can't you cast an Argentinian woman?
Yes,
Or
exactly.
at least some woman of Latin descent.
Well,
Yes.
so my Madonna aficionado friend, John,
Yeah.
John.
He may later be on the show.
He may later be
Yeah.
on. According to John, when we spoke of this, Madonna begged actually for this role. They did not want her. And
Well,
she
of
had
course.
to beg for it, and she was pregnant during filming, which I didn't know.
Well, she looks
and-
good for being pregnant.
Yeah. And if you notice, they changed the key of many a song
Every song.
for her.
Lower or higher?
Lower.
Just depending.
Oh, just depending on where her range is. Yeah, she sounded like a train wreck. I'll tell you
Not
what.
great.
I don't love
It's
Madonna
bad.
to begin with. I just she just is sort of this monster being, this ghoul, if you will, that I can't get behind, nor will I. And so having her dance around the stage or the movie while I had to listen to just song after song of just nothing happening. It just
It's so boring.
oh my God.
The movie's so boring. I've never watched all of it.
boring.
It's so bad.
So the irony of
But
this,
I love the musical.
absolutely.
I
And
can't
so
believe that.
the irony of this whole thing to me is that, when you think about the musical and why it was written and the point it makes, which is based off a biography that sort of
Okay, so now that's great. Now I wanted to know about that. If it's a true story, if it's based on a true
Oh.
story, I had no idea. I
Yeah.
assumed, but I wanted
She's
to
a
wait
huge.
to ask.
She's a huge figure.
And,
she's
a
a very important historical
Yeah.
figure, as a matter of fact.
forgive me for not knowing my Argentinian history.
Well,
Can
not
you guys
only that,
name me a few Argentinian presidents other than
Juan Perón.
yeah, other than that? Exactly.
But so it's based off a biography that was
Okay.
written that is sort of a scathing version of Eva Perón because
Yeah.
she was
okay.
sort of
Anti-Peronist.
loved and hated. Yes, and
Yeah, that came through pretty well here. That old Tony Bando wasn't a huge fan of her.
well, so the point to me, the point of the musical as it's written with the addition of Che as a character who's sort of her adversary is that he's pointing out her flaws. He's pointing out that she's very much style over substance.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a main theme. And it's like, if you think of the movie version, they sort of did the same thing to Madonna, right? They propped her up. They watered down the Che role.
Oh, you mean like the
They made it style over substance.
Oh yeah, that's true. That
To
makes
me,
sense.
anyway.
Yeah, they
And
made
that's part of why it's awful.
they made the structure of the movie match the metaphor of the woman.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I don't know if that was purposeful or if that was more.
Or if they're just
they
bad
had to
at their
because
job.
Madonna. Yeah,
It feels like it just like the mystique of Madonna like took over,
absolutely.
Yeah.
and she just had too much of a say like in costuming and in what she looked like and in what she got to do. It just seemed like it just seems like it turned into a crappy music video for Madonna instead of like we're telling this story.
And that's actually what I was thinking here. Like to me, this felt like Madonna's dumpster fire version of Lemonade, of Beyonce's Lemonade. Like here's just a whole bunch of songs that I'm gonna sing that are partially artistic.
To that point, the most egregious thing to me about this movie is that they gave Madonna the song "Another Suitcase in Another Hall."
Yes.
Placed it in such a weird spot.
That's
It's
not her
Her
song.
character does not sing it.
No.
Jeez.
It makes no sense.
I bet she
have
just
real
begged.
problems.
I bet she just yelled at him until she got it.
Yes, she was like, I want to sing this.
So what's the collective? I'm not a as I mentioned, I'm not a Madonna enthusiast. What's the collective thought around Madonna? I know she's like the original LGBT rights activist, which is great.
Yeah,
But
huge
what's
gay
the-
icon.
Like, what's the?
But even so, like there's a bar in Chicago called Sidetrack, and they do a thing on Mondays called Music Mondays, and they play music videos from like movie musicals and from Broadway clips, and everyone sings along in the bar, and it's very fun.
Sounds right up your alley.
It's so fun. Go on Mondays if you live in Chicago. It's really, really fun. But they play Don't Cry For Me, Argentina from the movie,
Do
the
they
clip
play
of that song.
Don't Cry For Me, MusiPals.
They sing
God, I
along
hope not.
like Dan does every time, and it sounds great. And so a lot of times the people in the bar like change the lyrics of the song to like whatever.
Yeah.
And so even like with as big of a gay icon as Madonna is, like Sidetrack is a gay bar, and all the lyrics that they change it to, they're like, "Get out of here, white girl! Like you're doing a
yeah.
bad job."
Okay,
so
good.
like, no.
So
As much as Madonna's respected, like even everyone acknowledges that this movie
was a dud.
Okay, so this is just a black spot on her career, but overall, Madonna is...
She did win a Golden Globe for this role.
How the...
Right? Yes. It's crazy.
Yes.
How'd those award shows...
That shit is bananas.
And the awful song they wrote for the movie version won an Academy Award.
What song?
You Must Love Me.
You Must Love Me. I don't remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that was in the revival. Then I like that song.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of my favorite songs from the show.
It
Interesting.
was also written by... I think it was written by Andrew Lloyd Webber, that song, specifically for this movie.
Yeah. Well...
But all in all, I wrote in my notes, Madonna really blew this role.
Yeah, you really embarrassed yourself
Madonna
here.
blew the role. The movie just sucked through and through.
Well,
I
think about
just
it, though,
hated it.
as I also wrote, the character of Ava is supposed to be kind of like a viciously ambitious person. She's like a stop-at-nothing person.
Right.
And like when she talks about how she was turned away at her father's funeral, she gets very like angry about that. And it's like, that emotion and that passion is just not there, and so
she might as well be a blow-up doll,
right? And so that's why adding that song, Another Suitcase in Another Hall, is like her being introspective or self-reflective about where she is in life. Like, she's being turned away. Where am I going? That was never a question, right?
Yeah, she knew.
She knows what she wants. So
she knew how to get there,
and that's why I told you when we were watching it, even though we weren't allowed to talk about it. I said, you have to watch this Another Suitcase in Another Hall because I got a real bee in my bonnet.
Yeah, you can imagine. We'll dig into that, but before we do, I think the collective thought is this was a pile of trash.
Yeah,
and I'm willing to believe that Evita the musical is not a pile of trash.
Yeah,
but I don't currently believe it. The runway is open for me to believe it. But
maybe should we show you some clips?
Maybe after. I don't know if I can handle more of Evita right now. But so for those of you who are Evita fans, I'm gonna go take a quick nap while we take it to everyone's favorite segment. 1, 2, 3.
Nerd alert. Okay, are you ready?
Go for it.
Okie dokie, let's get to it. Okay, so Evita is a musical. How crazy. With music by Andrew Lloyd Webber and the lyrics by Tim Rice. Is this our first Andrew Lloyd Webber musical? I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other ones have he's not Oklahoma, is he?
It's an exciting time. No, he was.
Roger
sadly, Andrew Lloyd Webber was not.
That was actually a legitimate, genuine question.
But Andrew Lloyd Webber is like the blockbuster creator of Broadway. He's done Jesus Christ Superstar and Cats, which is the bane of my existence.
I can't wait to watch
Phantom.
it.
And Phantom.
Wait to watch.
Yeah. I hate Cats so much. But Evita's good.
I can't wait.
So it's based on a true story, based on 2 real historical figures. And
that's super cool.
Their rise to power and like kind of like a military coup and all this stuff. You know it. The musical began as a rock opera concert album, and then it was so successful that it premiered on London's West End in 1978. So it started in London, and then it won the Olivier Award for Best Musical, and then it went to Broadway later that year, where it won the Tony Award for Best Musical. And so then there's this crappy movie that was made with Madonna and Antonio Banderas. So we have the original West End production. Then we have the original Broadway production, which starred Patti LuPone and Mandy Patinkin. Huge names. We talked about them a little bit already today. Then there's the original Madrid production, Mexican production, Brazilian production, then a London revival, which starred Elena Roger, which I saw her when she transferred to Broadway in the Broadway revival in 2012. And she was insanely spectacular. Like, I can't say enough good things. She's Argentinian, so she had the like right accent and everything, and she was so talented. I was just like so transfixed the whole time. And then in the Broadway revival, Ricky Martin was Che.
Love it. Love it.
Which was
just
like
one horrible pop star.
So fun to watch. He was actually like fine. I wasn't bothered.
Britney Spears is going to play Evita next.
No, but Michael
Justin
Severus
as Perone.
Hey, it's nerd alert.
Jay Beebs as Juan Perone.
That's dumb to say. Michael Severus was Perone in the Broadway revival, and we just talked about him in Sweeney Todd.
Yeah,
he was
I
Sweeney.
I almost made the same joke because I almost said Cerberus Snape.
Cerberus Snape. So
And then I said, that's the same joke, Dan. Don't do that.
you're learning things about Broadway actors, and I'm proud of you. And then it's toured all over the place. Evita's like wildly popular. Everyone knows it. So yeah, it's based on a true story.
That's cool.
So we're gonna.
It sucks it's such an abomination of a film is based on a true story, but anyway. Sorry, go ahead.
But the musical on Broadway is actually like, I don't know. I have some musical theater friends that like really dislike Evita, but I think it's really great. But let's talk about some history.
Yeah,
let's
just
pass
I
it
mean,
over.
just a couple little things.
Yeah.
For score.
Yeah, Juan Perón was actually he would travel around learning about other governments, and he was actually kind of a fan of fascism and Nazism.
Oops.
Not the sort of like ideals of like a perfect race kind of a thing, but just like listening to the people or access of the people or something like that. He made some excuses for it, and in fact, after World War II, Argentina became a place of asylum for former Nazi soldiers.
Huh.
Yeah.
Was he just a fan of communism then, or like?
More like socialism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, socialism is great.
And actually, Ava was planning to run
Bernie
to,
2020.
I think, to succeed him as president.
Succeed.
Him as president. But then she got ill. She fell ill and couldn't do
Oh,
it.
so that's what I was wondering is if she was ever actually gonna be slated for like. The
Yeah,
leader
she
of the
wanted to,
nation.
but then she got really sick. And had she done it, she would have become the first female leader in the Western Hemisphere.
Wow.
Yeah.
And in fact, after Juan Perón was, which we'll talk about later also because I got to tell you a little fun fact, but after he was overthrown and exiled, he went to Spain for a while, and he came out of exile, came back, became president again, and died while he was president. And his wife, at the time that would be his fourth wife,
Good guy.
she became president, and she actually was the first female president of the Western Hemisphere.
Was she well liked?
I don't know.
All right.
I do know that Eva Perón was actually like big feminist, big advocate of suffrage.
Yeah, they
suffrage.
mentioned that in the movie. Actually.
Yeah, so she was quite a lady.
Yeah, and just so wildly beloved, like
Yeah.
just worshipped, like Christ-like figure.
Yeah.
They both were.
Yeah, it's cool to.
Santa Evita.
Yeah, it's cool that was she actually slated to be a saint or like
They
to
named
become
her
a-
the spiritual leader of Argentina. That was the name given to her by, I believe, I don't know, the people, I suppose.
the
But
people said.
it's like an official title that she was given,
Wow.
spiritual leader of Argentina.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's weird. That's crazy to me. It's also really interesting that Eva Perón could have joined the ranks of the likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ronald Reagan, Donald Trump.
Some
of-
may argue she did.
Yeah, actors who became actors who became political figures and then fell from grace. Although Arnie hasn't yet.
She never fell from grace.
Well,
Well, she died.
he
While she
bankrupted
was alive.
California, so I think he's not our favorite. But.
He won, yeah, but well, that's true. But so she died. The general consensus was that she was a Mother Teresa figure.
Beloved.
Yeah.
She died at 33.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's young.
Yeah.
That's
Was it
really-
ovarian cancer?
I believe so, yeah.
I think so.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, her little body couldn't take it.
Her poor little.
Such a fucking creepy song. Your poor little body is failing you.
Oh. But imagine like good actors singing those songs, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Although
okay.
I like that guy. I did actually like the guy who
Oh,
played Juan Perón.
He is wonderful.
Yeah, he was cool.
I couldn't
I
place
recognized him.
Yeah,
I
I can
couldn't
tell you
figure-
where he's from. I
where?
looked it up. He's in Game of Thrones. He's the High Sparrow.
Yeah.
Oh, hot dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sure is.
Great
Yeah.
voice. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed
Whoa.
his voice.
He does a great
again,
job.
Again, another instance of. I mean, he's maybe not a huge figure, but.
But also,
someone
like,
who
he's
keep-
white, so, like-
multi-talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a great cast. Oh, well.
Very talented. Maybe not for
I'm
Evita.
starting to learn that the musical theater industry in general, maybe not so much anymore, but it's pretty racist.
No, it's very whitewashed. It's an
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah, it's a real bad thing.
It's something that's talked about in Chicago a lot, actually. There's there's a big scandal last year. Maybe we shouldn't get
Wait,
into this.
the musical Chicago or the city of
No,
Chicago?
the city of Chicago.
Oh,
There's a
gotcha.
big scandal with the show In the Heights. That was Lin-Manuel Miranda's first.
Oh, yeah.
They were doing a production of it, and they cast a white guy as the main character that Lin-Manuel Miranda played, and everyone was very upset,
Yeah,
obviously, because
right.
it's a story, like, that character specifically was like, this is a story about immigrants, and we're telling this,
Oh, yeah.
like, very specific Latino story, and, like, not a Latino man was playing the part,
Yeah,
so
that's not okay.
that happens a lot.
Yeah.
He was just, like, very ethnically Italian, so he, like, looked the part,
Sure,
but he
yeah.
wasn't.
That's gone on for a really long time.
Yes,
because
exactly.
One of the other musicals I was going to choose was West Side Story, and all the Puerto Ricans
Ooh.
in that film were in fact not Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I guess they were.
How do you?
Like no one was Puerto Rican, and then like only a couple of them were like Latino. and
What's the
Latina
rationale
actresses.
there? We just, you know what? We just can't find enough.
The
Puerto
rationale
Rican
is
people.
racism.
Racism.
Well, yeah, I
it's
guess
just
I-
white people like casting
Yeah.
and creating it and making it for white,
White
people.
people being
yeah.
white.
I guess.
Hashtag.
That's right. Hashtag white privilege. That's my hashtag. That. Yeah, I guess I can't. We can't really on this. At least in this hour
Yeah, it's
of
a
a
big issue.
podcast, we can't really rationalize racism. I don't think we're going to tackle that.
We're
one
not going to tackle
today.
it, but that's why
No,
shows
not
like
solid.
Hamilton are such huge deals.
Yeah, absolutely.
because
And as they should be.
like create like
Appropriately
start to
reflect.
create like a more
Yeah.
inclusive
And
environment.
does it suck that I don't think I would ever be in Hamilton if I was talented enough? A little, but I don't deserve it.
If I can tell you, based on my performance of "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina" in my car,
Yeah, you might be a good Ava Perón.
and the thought that I can never be
Yeah.
is pretty heartbreaking.
Well, Madonna was. So.
And I think the point we've just drawn here is that
You
we're
wouldn't
trying
let
to
yourself-
That was
suppress-
bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just would like to again say I could carry the role.
Yeah.
Could do it.
I believe it.
I have no
Better
doubt.
than Madonna. That's for sure.
Certainly.
But I could do a better job than Madonna.
Oh my
as
god,
Ava
I'd kill to
Perón.
see you play Pepper.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. All right. So should we dive in, or do you want to try that same segment? It's a MusiPals world. The new
I
segment.
feel like we kind of did it.
Yeah. So that was also Nerd Alert, and it's a MusiPals world. It's a new segment where we just talk about.
That
what's
was a
going on in
2 for
our
1.
lives. Yeah. Yep.
Lovely.
It's a 2 for 1 segment, ladies and gentlemen. Congrats. Oh wait. Nerd Alerted.
You took that as a solo.
I did. You know what? I knew you were going to get it this time, and I didn't want you to get it.
Well, that's
All
fair.
right. So let's take it. Let's take it from the top. Huh?
Yeah, from the top.
First thing I want to say is they just really mailed it in on those credits. The credits usually you get like a something going on, some motion in the background. They were like, no, we're gonna do 3-4 minutes of just black screen, white text. You cool with that? Like, it really set me off on
Well,
the
they're
wrong
playing
stage.
the movie, the cinema in
Oh,
the background.
Oh, so they.
You're going to be so hypercritical of this movie, you're going to go in on the credits.
That's just where it's starting.
Dan loves to go in on the credits.
Yeah,
did
I
you
do.
watch the
Credits are
Did you
important.
listen to the Sound of Music episode where he talked about the credits? And
They're
then
beautiful.
Chicago, which other Oklahoma you talked about the credits? He had a full like 5-minute bit about the credits that I had to like fight to edit down. Like
Yeah,
two.
let's,
Credits are important.
Okay,
Credits are
all right,
important.
all right.
But you're telling me that they used a recycled piece of media as the audio beneath the black screen.
Well, no, the point of that scene is that these are just people enjoying an afternoon in
I
a
get it,
movie.
but do something with the credits here. Come on,
Fair enough.
do something with the credits.
They
Play
could
that
have
movie.
made it cool and made it look like credits from the movie within the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That would
You
be-
see, this is what I'm saying. Use some creativity,
Maybe
Madonna.
we should rewrite this film. And
I think so.
produce
Maybe
it.
it was Madonna like in the editing lab. Like
Now get that out of there. I think I'm going to blame this entire every choice that is made in this musical. I'm just going to blame.
I think it's fair.
What's Madonna's real name? Do we know?
I don't
Madonna.
know.
Wait, her real name, her God-given name, well, her
Madonna
mom-given name is Madonna
Bitch.
Ciccone.
I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Ciccone.
All my
Is
gay-
she Hispanic?
all
then?
my gay friends will be wanting to murder me if I mispronounce that name, but I believe that's how you say it. Ciccone. Maybe it's Ciccone.
Ciccone. That's like a Spanish word. All right.
Madonna
Anyway,
Ciccone.
we'll blame it on Ms. Ciccone or Ciccone, whatever that is.
Well, she married Guy Ritchie, right? So we could also call her Richie,
all right. So we're blaming it on Lionel Richie. Got it.
as most things are.
Damn it, Lionel. Fuck. All right. So then, as you pointed out while we were watching it, we cut to a black and white, all Spanish with no subtitles scene, and my face was just no,
The
no,
sorrow.
no,
Yeah.
no. Thank God.
When the film can turns off, when it goes down, the amount of relief I saw in Daniel's face was
I will do a black and white film, no problem. But a musical in black and white and in all Spanish, I wasn't gonna be able to handle that today.
That sounds racist.
Not today or this weekend.
what struck me about that scene is the smoking. Ooh,
Oh yeah, that was They
Wow.
smoked back in the 50s. No matter where
just
you wanted to go,
smoking away.
it was good for you.
Yeah, that's good for your health.
And then of course we get to know that she's died. And then we get this sweet guitar.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Rock guitar, strange
guitar.
choice.
It really is.
That's not in the like.
Well,
not
of
how
course
the
not,
cast
because
recording
it's
is.
ridiculous.
It's just the origins of the rock concert, I guess.
Yeah, well, that brings me to what you said in Nerd Alert, which I was wondering about, and I'll bring it up again later. I thought this was a rock opera, more or less, or like was kind of had pieces of a rock opera. And I'll tell you, the thing that I hate more than anything on the whole planet is a rock opera.
A rock
Oh my God. It's just people up there shouting, trying to be too cooler than they are. Not a fan. Not a fan.
Oh, Daniel.
Yeah.
So then we're in the movie theater and the people are crying and devastated, and then we cut. It was a quick cut. if you miss about 4 seconds, not even 3 seconds of a little piece of white text on the bottom, you don't know that we've gone to the 1920s.
Oh, I believe first we're introduced to Che.
You're right. Yeah,
Yes,
sorry.
because
yeah.
I did write Antonio is fine.
Yeah.
Tony Bando.
Point.
My
Tony
God.
Bando. So
And I thought he did a great job singing this part.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was fine. He was not. He was tolerable. But can we talk about what's his role in this? I get that he's like some adversary for her, but sometimes they can see him. Sometimes he's like a spiritual guide.
He's more like
sometimes
the
he's a
narrator.
janitor.
Yeah, he's like a magic
But they
narrator.
can see him sometimes.
Yes, magic.
I don't like
They
that.
sort of interact in a way. I
don't like that.
But he's sort of more of a symbol.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
It's kind of like he's telling you this story.
yeah.
He's their conscience also. He's
Okay.
a detractor also.
Yeah.
What another part they cut was where he kind of explains who he is. He kind of says something about who am I who dares to keep his head held high while millions weep. And he just talks about how he saw so many of his countrymen die, and he doesn't believe in this Peronism, and he's just a detractor. He's just unhappy.
Yeah.
Unhappy with the way things are.
And
Not unlike some of us currently are.
Right. Yeah. It's absolutely true. And I liked his character. It was annoying. It was just reckless the way that he would string in and out of our world and their world. I didn't like it. But mentioning that he was their conscience, I guess I'm a little more okay with. What someone we were watching it with, your husband, in fact, said that it was Ava's brother as a joke, and I thought
that might confuse you.
That would actually be really cool if it ended up being her brother. Like,
Cool twist.
gotcha, bitch.
You just love that as an annoying brother, I assume.
Yeah, I would have. They just are contentious, and he's her number one enemy.
Well,
But
I'm inclined to agree with you. When watching the musical too on stage, I feel like I don't know if it was like Ricky Martin's like not a great actor or if it's just the character, but I was like, I'm a little bored with you and I don't really care too much and I want the story more than I want you.
Yeah.
I disagree. I just really love that character. I just think he is the driving force of this entire show. And I think the mistake they made with the movie is making it more about Evita, because to me the main character of the show is Che.
Oh, I like that. See, that would have been interesting. I think the character itself was necessary. It's just the way he was handled to me was just sort of disorganized and
Definitely.
stupid.
Well, the movie's bad.
He's just really dope. He is
He's a fox.
smoking hot.
He's a
yes,
fox.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
I think
In that regard, he can sleek in and out of any scene he wants.
Well, I think his
Heyo.
most attractive role, though, was that of Puss in Boots. In
I
Shrek.
disagree. I'm going to say it's the bee in the Flomax commercial.
That, too. He might be more attractive there.
It's pollinating.
Tony Bando gets around.
He sure does.
Which brings me to a new segment called Where in the World is Antonio Banderas? I just wanted to talk about what Antonio Banderas is up to
Okay.
nowadays.
Great.
Tell me.
I haven't looked up. I was going to look it up right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's find out.
Real results in real time.
Yeah,
My
so-
money's on something to do with Melanie Griffith,
Hey.
I don't know who that is.
his wife.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I've typed into Google Antonio Banderas now, and you guys choose. I've got 3 articles. One from Perez Hilton. It's the top one for me. One from justjared.com.
No.
And one from dailymail.co.uk.
Daily Mail is where it's at.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go Daily Mail as well.
Okay. The title of the article is The X Factor. Antonio Banderas and girlfriend Nicole Kemple attend
No longer with Melanie Griffith?
same Oscars bash as his former wife, Melanie Griffith. So it was a big scandal. They split in 2014 after 18 years of marriage. He's 55, and he's got a girlfriend, Nicole Kemple. It's a rough name. His new girlfriend's 35 years old, and he's 58. Yeah. Yeesh. All right. So that's been Where in the World is Antonio Banderas?
Great segment.
Yeah.
Should do that each episode.
I think we will. I think we'll check in on Tony Bando every once in a while.
I sort of meant to mention this at the top, but I found an interview with Patti LuPone, and she just had a scathing review of this movie. She said she will not watch it.
She wouldn't even watch it.
No.
Same, Patty.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
I love that she doesn't. I know it's going to be terrible,
Yeah.
so I'm just going to go ahead and call it a day.
She kind of said
the
something
best.
about that she had seen a preview of it, and just she was not interested.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know why you would be.
she is such a wonderful human. Because she doesn't suffer anyone that's like just a fool or like untalented. And so she like her stamp of approval like means a lot. Because she's just such a talented actress that it's like she's not gonna like be okay with anyone being in a movie that's not good.
Yeah.
May I quote her
Yeah.
from this interview? She says, "It looks like they have soft-pedaled the character of Evita, which we've referenced here.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they've made her this, this saint. They've taken away the guts of that character. I'm sure that this is not Madonna. Madonna is being directed. And to sum it up, she said, it looks like a boring piece of shit."
Does she really?
She does.
No, she doesn't.
Quote, unquote.
You're kidding.
That's why
I'm
she's the
not
best.
It looks like a boring piece of shit.
This is why she's the greatest.
That's exactly how I feel about it.
Yes.
Patti LuPone, you just took the words right out of my mouth.
This is why she's the best
Patti
human
LuPone, if
on
I'd
the
only
world.
known. Oh, man. It looks like a boring piece of shit.
She says, it's very disappointing. If it had been as electrifying as I know it was on stage, then I'd run to go see it. It looks like a boring piece of shit.
I now love Patti LuPone. That's now a name I will remember.
Good. Oh,
Because she's now summarized exactly my feelings on this musical.
So simply.
It looks like a boring piece of shit. I knew you were, I was certain you made that up.
No.
Oh, man, that's so good. That is so good. All right. So we spend about, I think, 4.5 hours probably doing the funeral and the processions. Just funeral
I
after
agree.
funeral.
That opener is like, we get it, dude.
Yeah.
It's-
They died. All right. Their dad died.
And the
then
song's
Ava's
like very
dad-
scary and dissonant, and like I don't want to hear it this much.
So much.
But in addition, again, if the character that Madonna is playing doesn't express the anguish she felt at not being good enough to be with the middle class family of her father, she was a bastard basically.
Yeah.
Right. So she's turned away at his funeral. She's so angry about this, and if they don't reflect that in the movie, why even show the dad's funeral scene?
Yeah.
Why even bother?
Yeah, they show her running in one time. Nice work with the microphone.
The look of terror on your face.
Yeah, you really like were a
really
deer
got
in the
scared.
headlights there. Yeah, they show her running in and she runs into the funeral, and that's it. Like that's pretty much it. And they do this weird flashback around this time where we haven't seen any of the movie, and they do flashbacks through the movie that we've not yet seen. Wait a minute.
Flash forward.
So true.
But flash forward back. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, they show her like addressing the crowd.
Yeah.
And,
So, what's happening here? Is this a movie we've not yet? Should we? Was there some homework? Was there a prerequisite to this movie? Have
It's
I
kind of
missed
like,
episode
don't worry,
1?
we're gonna get to the fancy stuff, but right now
right now it's just sadness and dissonant
Here,
chords.
here.
we're gonna get to "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina." We know that's why you came,
That's right.
but right now we have to get to some.
Yeah, the directors and the editors were like, we got to tell these people that there's something better
Don't worry.
around the corner.
This movie sucks, but the song you wanted to hear is coming.
It's gonna be in here.
Right.
So unless there's more about the funeral and procession, I mean, it was long, but it was
No, there's
nothing
nothing
really happened. Then we cut to the first and very few moments of the musical that I quite enjoyed. That What a Circus.
Awesome.
That Tony Bando
Awesome.
sings.
Totally awesome.
I wouldn't say awesome for me, but
I mean, it's awesome
it
in the
was
show.
cool. Comparing.
Yeah, it
I-
is awesome in the show.
And I thought Antonio sold the sarcasm really
he did.
well.
He
I
did
think
play
he just
a
did
good.
a great job.
He did play a good comedic act in it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we learn. And this is the first time I've learned it, not knowing anything about the show, that she was not the perfect woman. That she maybe had some issues, and Tony's going to tell us.
Instead of government, we had a stage.
Boom.
What does that sound like?
She did nothing for years.
She didn't say
Hot
much,
take.
but she said it loud.
Hot take.
And it's funny that you mentioned that you enjoyed that, because of all of my notes, which mostly talk about how garbagey this film is, that's where I wrote, I'm really loving this so far. Maybe it's not so bad.
Maybe not. Nope. But don't worry, it
JK.
is. It is. Yeah, because I love the Spanish. That you got like the the Spanish sort of guitar going on. It's wonderful. It's
But again, what bothers me is that he has a few. He has basically a verse where he explains his dissension. He explains
Yeah.
why he's upset, and they cut that.
great. Because I thought they had some of those qualities in here, but you're saying he's more poignant. Like, here's what my issue
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
That would have been nice. Definitely would have been nice.
Except there was a really weird dancing scene at the end of all of that, with just people like kind of sadly dancing, like sadly waltzing. It was really
I have
weird.
many moments in here where I'm like, why are we dancing?
The musical of
What are we
Evita,
dancing
though,
at?
like, loves a sad waltz. Like, every video clip I've seen is always just, like, a very, like, depressed, like, couple partner dance. Like, Evita loves that shit. Like, Andrew Lloyd Webber maybe, like, wrote it into the musical, like, now, like, two people better fucking dance sad. Or I'm pulling the rights.
Sadder.
Two people better dance sad.
It reminds him of his wedding. Sick burn.
Sad, sick burn for Andrew.
and
He
then we
made
get
cats, he deserves it.
Then we get into Night of the Thousand Stars.
Great song, right?
Magaldi.
That was fun.
So
That's a
fun.
great name too.
Great name.
Agustin Magaldi. I think it's gonna be my alias from now on.
The Argentine Elvis.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what they call him in it?
That's what I call him.
That's what you call it. All right, fair enough. That was fun too because it was you're in a bar. It's kind of smoky and you're watching him play a little song. That was fun. And as I've mentioned in past episodes, I love a little guitar in a musical.
Oh, you love it.
I love a little guitar in a musical.
It's great.
Acoustic guitar.
Yeah, no rock for Dan.
No, not a huge
Yeah, you
rock
don't
opera.
like-
no
you don't
acoustic
like it.
guitar. And this is so. Then here's the first time we hear Madonna sing, and I quite literally wrote, "Oh my fuck, Madonna's voice."
Yeah.
Just no.
It's a
Well,
bummer.
here's a fun fact that I knew you wouldn't pick up from the movie.
Yeah.
We are, in fact, to believe at this juncture in the story that she is 15 years old.
What?
Absolutely.
Isn't it fun?
What?
That's the problem with Augustine Magaldi
He's a
being with her,
bit
is
of a
that she is a
pedophile.
young, not even a woman.
Yeah, that's not appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah. How old is Magaldi supposed to be?
Probably
30.
20s, 30s. I don't know. He's kind of
Too old.
trying to be famous. He's
So-
at an out of town performance,
Ah.
so he's got this trifling 15-year-old hoe with him.
Yikes.
And yeah, that's what's going on. And in fact, in real life, she did go to Buenos Aires at 15.
Oh.
But there's some people who say that she went with her mother to become a radio star. That it wasn't like a man who took her there, but
But no, we don't know. It's unknown.
just conflicting,
Gotcha.
conflicting
Stories.
Yeah.
Which is a great segue into Beware of the City, where Madonna just smokes Magaldi with that suitcase and everything goes flying. It's like, what? That must have hurt in real life. They must have yelled cut. And he was like, "Did you have to do it that hard? Because that hurt." I really liked this next scene actually a lot. It's when they go through the city.
What's New Buenos Aires?
Yeah, that was fun.
Such a fun song, right?
I wrote in my notes, meh.
Yeah, the song.
Oh, I love this song. Sing it every day.
Sing it every
What's
day.
new? And you have to say the liquid you.
The liquid you.
Yeah.
That's the reason that's making my skin crawl.
What's new?
It's such a wonderful technical musical-y term. I love it.
Thank you.
Liquid you. That was
Especially when
fun.
Patty sings it. What's new? Buenos Aires. I'm new. It's so great.
If I could have just captured your face just now.
And her, where she held her.
Yeah, you have to
hands.
have your musical
Yeah.
theater hands.
Yeah,
You have to have your-
absolutely.
100% of your body was just as wide as it
You
could
were a
go.
star in that
I'm
moment.
new.
Thank you. Well, I was
It was
new.
really nice. It was very new.
From now on, you should start calling yourself a music noob.
Noob. I'm a music noob.
What is that?
Big Apple.
This song is the best.
The song for me was fine, but it was fun watching the scenes of the city. That was cool.
Tell the driver this is where I'm staying.
What was that?
That's what
That's what
says
she
in it.
Was
sings.
that a Frank Sinatra?
No, she sings it.
Jazzy.
Yeah, it's jazzy.
I don't remember.
It's
She's
a
having
liquid
fun.
I watched
staying.
it. I watched it too.
Yes. Liquid saying. Very cool. You should, to make you like this, you should watch this song in the Broadway revival
One day.
on YouTube.
That day won't be today, nor tomorrow.
You've
but
had it.
maybe the next day.
Probably never, but just
Yeah,
one
I've
day if you
had
feel
enough.
like maybe I'll like Evita today.
Yeah, no, I'm never gonna.
You YouTube it.
There you go.
I'll just send it to you in a couple months. Like, hey, remember?
Just send it to me. Don't tell me what it is. And I'll click on it and I'll just go, fuck.
Like, look at
fine.
this fun, like, I don't know what kind of music you like, but I assume it's like Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I would just be like, look
Yeah.
at, they have a new song.
They have a new song out. They have a new song out.
It's new.
At this point in the movie is exactly the longest I've ever watched Madonna do anything, and I feel.
And how did it
I
feel?
Worse for having done it.
Felt great.
I feel 10% dumber. But now we get to your scene.
Oh my God.
The scene that puts a bee in your bonnet.
I just walked away. I didn't even watch it
Yeah, you did.
when I was at home.
You walked away here too, I think.
Oh, did I?
And went and got
I
some water.
I can't stand it.
What scene?
So who sings
Another
it then?
suitcase in another hall.
Oh, such a bummer.
Who sings it? in the
So
movie?
dumb.
It's sung by Perron's mistress.
Oh, which that's that whole thing.
Yeah.
I think it's sung normally. Well, it moves around, I believe, in different
Yeah.
productions, but I believe, generally speaking, where the movie reprised the song when they got back to Perron's mansion for the first time, when
Yeah.
Ava came to Perron's mansion, she kicked that woman out of bed.
Yeah.
I believe that's where it's normally sung.
That's where it normally goes.
Yeah, but instead we sung it. It was performed by Madonna. I think when Magaldi gets home to his family, he comes to a door and some kids leap up in his arms and they say "Daddy," and then she's kind of left on her own.
Oh, yeah.
And she sings Another Suitcase in Another Hall.
Which, like, kind of makes sense, but it's, like, just Madonna, like, trying to, like, grab at another, like, song for herself. Just,
Right,
like,
which again doesn't make sense to her character.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
Seemingly, she just wanted more
Yeah.
screen time.
Also, that song, though, like, comes out of nowhere, like, wherever it is in the show. Like, it's always like, why do I care enough about his mistress to listen to her sing an entire
Yeah.
song?
It's almost as if we had to give another woman, like another person, a chance to have
yeah.
a role. So,
Or, like, the girl that was playing that part was, like, banging Andrew Lloyd Webber at the
Yeah.
time.
It
And
reminds
so
me,
he,
like-
like, wrote her a song.
Get
It
you
reminds
one.
me a little bit of in Les Mis how Eponine has like a song pretty much. It's
Yeah.
like we just had to have one female, another female character and give her a big song. But
Yeah.
it's
Whoever's
gonna seem
banging
real out of-
Andrew at the time
Yeah.
gets a solo for no reason.
Really, I think I've always loved
Who's
the song.
getting in Lloyd?
Actually, Another Suitcase in Another Hall is the first song from this show I ever heard, like I ever knew and loved.
Yeah.
Because it was on. I had like some Andrew Lloyd.
It's
Webber
great by
mix.
itself.
Yeah, it's a great song, but it's introspective. She's being self-reflective in that moment and saying, "Where am I going to? Like I'm used to trouble. I anticipate it.
Yeah.
That's not what I think of.
Yeah, that's not who she is.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah,
fine, if this bad thing happened, then I'm going to go do this.
Right.
Right, which as is evidenced by the fact that the very next scene is just her having sex with dude after dude to climb the ladder of dudes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Good night and
banging
thank
dudes
you.
and leaving
So
their
she's gonna
carcasses behind her.
be thoughtful about it in one moment, and in the next she's gonna sleep her way to
Right.
the top. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Nope.
Madonna
But-
just like wanted like a serious acting moment.
The one thing that
As if her death in the end wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Good.
it was enough for me. It was gratification.
I know we'll get there, but
Yeah. The one thing that I really enjoyed about this is a quick personal anecdote. All throughout high school, my friend Ryan would always turn to me and go, "Where am I going to?" And I'd go, "What? What are you doing?"
wow. So something came together for you.
That's when I went. That's when I rewound it.
Oh, lovely.
He used to do it, and I used to like, "What is that?" And he was, "Don't worry about it, man." Every time, and I just, I hate you so much. And now I finally know where it comes from.
Which Ryan?
Anderson.
Oh God,
Yeah.
that little boy.
Little
Oh,
boy.
that's so great.
He would just turn, "Where am I going to?" And
Ryan
that was it.
Anderson.
Ryan
if you're
sounds
listening-
fun.
Oh,
He's
you will
real
continue to be one of my favorite people. Thank you so much.
And I just hated it. They hated it. They hated it. Now I know.
Also, I just want to point out in my notes for this song, I put, "I have no words. This is the most egregious thing. I'm walking away."
Fair enough. I can't disagree with you. In fact, I applaud your bravery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boring piece of shit.
Yep, this boring piece of shit. Then the dude takes a picture of her butt weirdly, and now she's a model.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very accurate description.
That's what happens.
Yep.
Kardashian.
Hi.
Boom.
Boom. Now she's a model and leads that into. Oh, I didn't understand the "Don't Ask Anymore" when it was said. I was like,
That's
what?
because the song does not belong there.
There you go.
And yeah, the whole it's all
Because it made sense the rest of them. Because "Don't Ask Anymore" meant I'm going to be good to you. I figured out a solution to your problem at one point, and at another point, "Don't Ask Anymore" meant, hey bitch, shut the hell up.
because Che sings that in the movie or no?
Don't Ask Anymore is the photographer.
No,
Okay,
one of her
so
conquests.
usually after "Where Am I Going To" that the mistress sings, Che sings "Don't Ask Anymore" to her and like guides her off stage, like
That
I'm
does
gonna
happen.
help you.
That happens as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it does.
Che doesn't have any role
No.
in it.
Oh no, Madonna sings it to the
mistress, right? But that's Che's part.
Yeah.
Because again,
Oh, I
being the
gotcha.
conscience, being the
because it's
right.
usually Che like I'm gonna actually help the people instead of Evita like pretending
that
she's
makes
gonna
sense.
help the people but
I
not.
think that's the biggest issue here is that the movie didn't at all try to establish characters in
Correct.
any strong way. Like Antonio Banderas' character apparently in the musical is probably overtly like I'm here for the people, but he wasn't really that in the movie. Like he was, but it wasn't strong. And Madonna didn't have an opinion on anything, frankly. And none of the characters were strong. Like you couldn't get a good sense of who they were and what they stood for.
I agree. It was very watered down.
Yeah, wasn't good. I didn't have honestly the rest of the show for me. I didn't. It all just sort of blended together as just an amalgamation of boring shit. I gotta tell you, we started okay, and I just boy. Now we're in Ladies Got Potential.
There's sort of this like military kind of
Yeah,
like
okay.
interstitial
And
thing.
all right, so I didn't know if that was part of that song. So far, if I were seeing this on stage, I would have no freaking idea what was going on. The only reason I knew what was going on is because something would explode or tanks would roll in, and I go, "Oh, okay, so now it's like a war."
So I didn't understand this part either. I don't think it's in. It's not in the.
What's the song?
It's just this weird like military thing where
it's
he
not
says
good.
like Kapow died.
Yeah, that I wanted to bring up. I love that. They literally just go, "Kapow, die!
So they say Kapow died.
Kapow, die!"
And it's kind of where that we hear that there's an earthquake. There was an earthquake. I wrote in my notes.
That'll do it.
Ask Katie, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
'Cause I didn't know if it was in any stage production ever.
I've never watched this far into it.
Oh God.
So we hear there's an earthquake. We're introduced to Perron, and we hear about the fact that he organizes a charity event for the victims of the earthquake.
Yeah.
And we also learned that Eva Perón is a terrible actor. It's just that she knows people.
Yeah, that she banged him.
Yeah.
Good job, Ava. I respect the hustle.
So there's an earthquake that happens, and instead of doing the normal thing and like getting the government to help the people who are dying, he does a charity concert.
True.
Great work, Perón. And that's where we get the 1,000 Stars reprise.
Magaldi himself is having some fame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see that part of the story.
No,
No.
you sure don't.
Yeah.
I think you've just come up with a great Evita part 2.
Magaldi's Rise.
Magaldi's Rise.
Magaldi's Rise.
Magaldi's fame.
And then he later went on to form Aldi's grocery store.
Crickets.
Quite literally. And then, and so now, but here's where the character of Tony Bando breaks down. He's on stage as a host now. How is he?
I think
Janitor,
Magic.
a waiter,
Magic.
a man of the people leading marches, and now he's in a tuxedo.
Magic.
Daniel, you have to suspend disbelief.
I
He's
won't.
a symbol.
That's
He's
what musical
not-
theater is,
I
dude.
will only suspend disbelief if I have given a good
He's
enough
not-
reason to
he's
suspend
not-
disbelief.
Okay, he's not literally a waiter, literally a host.
He is.
But he's not. It's sort of just symbolic. It's not like
It's just why do we need another character? Why do we need another character in there? We
Right.
don't. He can just do
he
it.
can just drive the plot.
He's
as the
telling you the
narrator.
story, so
Right.
he's like the host. Like, so
But I
this
think-
happened at the party and this happened. At
Right.
the
I
party.
want him throwing fairy dust around, flying around, telling the story as he floats.
Well,
by
in the
you on
musical, he
screen.
does.
Okay, good. Thank you. That's all I want. Is the beer Peroni named after Perron? Juan Perron?
No.
I don't think so. It's a great beer. I love that. I love that beer.
Maybe they can be a sponsor.
Yeah, maybe Peroni sponsor us. Yeah, I'll drink a whole bunch of Peroni. Let's see. Magaldi Burns Madonna right around here,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, so good. I made you rewind it.
Yeah, you sure did.
Yeah.
I didn't care enough to rewind it, but I'm glad it caught the burn. It says,
Your act hasn't changed much. Neither has yours.
Yeah.
Sick burn, buddy.
Boom.
Yeah.
You still
I think that should be a critical plot point in Magaldi's rise.
yeah.
Yes.
Is the moment where and he sets off into
Yeah.
to form us grocery stores. See, there it is. And now I just make a quick mention that I hate operas, and then we go to them heiling Hitler more or less. Baron. Do you think it was on purpose that it sounds exactly like the knife scene from?
It's supposed to like be a little unsettling and like
Yeah.
a little scary.
I think
Yeah.
Which came out first? Obviously, that movie came out first, and then yeah.
When
What
in that
movie am I
movie,
thinking of?
I have no idea.
With the shower scene and the knife.
Oh, Psycho.
Psycho. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's an homage to
that was
Psycho.
the 60s, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, it was
Something like
before
that.
this musical.
Yep.
Also the Jaws theme, perhaps.
Slower. Yeah, maybe. And then Juan Perón says, "Perhaps you're my reward."
Yeah.
Like she's some
Real
freaking
creepy.
ribbon
Yeah, I
or
hated
trophy. Like this is a person. This is a human person.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
No, creep.
Creep.
And I just do want to point out that at this point in the show, it seems like we've just talked about maybe 4 or 5 musicals, and we're actually only 11 tracks into a 31-track musical.
It's an opera. I don't know what to tell you. Good. It's all sung.
But I think another part that the movie is a letdown is the art of the possible, because that is a great song.
That is a great song. I think it seems like Boom Kapow like took the place of the art of the possible.
He sings like Antonio sings about one verse of it.
Tony Bando.
I just love it so much.
That's silly. Wait,
Yeah, he
but did
just
they
says art
do
of
they
the
do in the
possible.
movie the duet where they meet? Are we not
Yes,
there yet?
Yeah,
We're
we're
not
just
there yet, but
Wait,
Okay.
Who meets the?
Perón and Ava.
That's where he.
Because they meet at the fundraiser.
and that's
right?
where he says, "You're my reward." And,
Yeah, but I'm saying I like that duet a lot.
oh yeah, they do. I could be good. I could
be good for you.
I'd be
Surprisingly good for
Yeah.
you. I know you think I'm a piece of trash, but I can be surprisingly good for you.
Well, think of it. The whole point of that is that she is just this actress. That's all she's done. She's not done anything else
Yeah.
besides get
Yeah.
some fame as an actress and model. And he's trying to rise to power.
Right.
And so I think it is that they'd be surprisingly good for one another.
Yeah.
It's not something that on its face you would put that pair together.
That's a question that I had. Do you think historically, do you think they actually were in love with one another, or it was just?
I think that
power
he
move?
deeply loved her.
Yeah.
Do you think she?
And I
him?
will explain a little bit of why I think that
later.
at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
I don't know about her. I don't know.
One can surmise, but
Yeah.
I would say she probably didn't give a shit about.
I think she wanted one thing,
power.
Yeah.
That's all she wanted.
fame and glory.
This whole love thing, that's just an added bonus if it happens.
Yeah.
I think so.
Maybe.
Then we got Hello Goodbye, where Perón evidently has a resident prostitute that Ava has now just unemployed, as she mentions.
Yes, his mistress.
Yeah,
who
resident prostitute.
is to be the one to sing.
Yeah.
Another suitcase,
Wait, so
another hall.
so Madonna's not supposed to sing.
If I could be clear about this, this song was given to Madonna in error.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
Okay,
I had a real bug about it.
do you?
Yeah, it's a bugaboo for me.
It's a real bugaboo.
Oh yeah,
You hadn't mentioned it, so
I know. I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that I'm representing my opinions
Yeah, no.
clearly on this podcast.
and so thus far you haven't. You've done a terrible job.
I'll
I
keep
didn't.
trying.
Very
know.
wishy-washy.
I'll keep trying.
It's been very unclear where you stand.
Yeah.
Can we talk about polo for a minute? What a dumbass concept. We're
Yeah,
gonna
it's
ride around on
dumb as
horses
fuck.
and hit a ball with a mallet.
But it looks fancy.
It does, but it looks stupid. Drinking mojitos.
Yeah, but you're just like drunk and like being rich.
Well,
Like that sounds fun.
I would-
And there's a whole halftime activity where the people go on the field and they stomp down the divots. That's like a thing.
It's just
Yeah.
action. Now you're drunk and have to do activity.
Yeah, people find a lot of joy in it.
Yeah, no, that sounds awful. I would much rather watch the skin of a pig be thrown around while I guzzle Bud Light and nachos.
Well,
Much more.
You're
what I
very
prefer.
J-Class.
I don't know why my note of this is here, but I did a lot of looking into Patti LuPone's life and opinion because I love her so much.
Yeah.
And I read another interview with her in which she had a lot of complaints about the role. Oh, I think this is why. Because I think I was noticing at this point just how bad Madonna was doing.
Yeah.
And that they were changing keys up and down to kind of match her. And even some of the lyrics, she was speaking instead of singing.
Yeah.
And it was really irritating me. And so I was kind of looking up Patti LuPone. And she described her experience with this show as, like, very daunting. She called the show impossible to sing. She says she was treated poorly. She hated the entire experience. She called it one of the worst experiences of her career. Yeah.
Well, it was one of the worst 2 hours of my career.
Well, because there's so much drama between Patti LuPone and Andrew Lloyd Webber, which is my favorite drama because she's like such a queen. He was Sunset Boulevard, right? I'm thinking of the right thing. Yes, so she was in Sunset Boulevard after Evita, and she was one of the stars, and she found out she was fired because Andrew Lloyd Webber like posted a new casting announcement in a newspaper that someone else was cast in her role.
Whoops.
And she was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, boy.
And
Andrew
so
Lloyd Webber, real catty.
he's such an ass, and Katz is the worst. So it's like my favorite drama because she's just, like such a queen about it. She's like, "Fuck you, I'm Patti LuPone."
Did she star in it?
You
then?
bitch? No, she didn't because
bitch.
he replaced her. But it's just like, you're an asshole, and I'm Patti LuPone. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, but
You
arguably
sexist
he's
piece of
Andrew
shit.
Lloyd
Like-
Webber, isn't he like more famous than her? Or no?
No.
Oh, all right, fair enough.
He's very famous,
He's the famous.
and people like his stuff. But I don't know if he's like well respected
Oh, gotcha.
in the musical
He's
theater
like the
community.
Ed Sheehan version of a musical.
Who's that, Sheehan?
Ed Sheehan?
I think it's Sheeran.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Same thing. What's the difference?
I like the songs.
Yeah, right. That's the idea, but there's no substance.
My friend
there.
describes him as a thumb.
You thinking out loud?
Or a what is Jen Keating's driving mess? I'm just thinking out loud.
We fell in love right where we are.
What's Jen Keating call him? She calls him a naked mole rat starting to sprout hair. Yes. We have an election, and
Woo!
Perón is elected. But somehow, I thought we had gone from a dictatorship to a democracy, but I guess I had that mistaken.
Well, we've transitioned sort of like power to the people kind of thing.
Right.
All the workers, the lower class.
Yeah.
And that's why we get back to that like staccato singing of the upper class people kind of saying that they don't matter now.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, fuck, sorry for them. I don't know. I have nothing to say about that. That's all I had a good saying. I know.
Daniel. But I think that's how they
Wheels are
like
coming off.
very purposefully wanted to paint, and that's how they paint it, and that's how they got into office by saying like, you've been like oppressed by these old regimes, and we're the people that are gonna like lift you up.
Yeah.
Who does that sound like?
Donald Trump.
Ooh la la.
It's very parallel.
Donald.
Yeah,
very
it,
parallel.
it really is. I mean,
very much.
history repeats
The only difference
itself,
is that you don't
fam.
have someone who is even arguably a good person in Eva Perón in the Trump campaign. You've got no one.
Well, the parallel would be Melania, right?
She doesn't do anything.
I mean,
She's
it's only
taken.
been a month.
She's taken on cyberbullying.
So, okay, that's a great...
in New York City.
But here's
New
the
York
thing.
City.
It would be as if, what if Melania, like, started doing all these wonderful things for the people, started helping the poor and all of that. It's sort of the same exact thing. So imagine how we would feel for that. That's Che. He's sort of our voice of this whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help you understand his character.
Yeah,
It's
but
wonderful.
I don't think it would also be. It's fun to think about if Melania became like this saintly person, and like we despise your husband. We want him to be removed from every point of power.
Well, it's
But you're
interesting because
great.
that's what a lawsuit against the Daily Mail is.
What?
They're saying that she sued the Daily Mail for like tarnishing her quote unquote her reputation because she only had a limited amount of time to like create this image for herself, and the Daily Mail like tarnished it. So she's suing them.
Dumb. Get over yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
Lawsuits. Yeah. See, there are parallels, but only so because I think Eva Perón deep down was a good person. Juan Perón was deep down a good person, and you've got none of that in the Trump campaign.
Yeah, but also like exploiting poor people with
that's
promises of not
and then
being
not,
poor
and
anymore, and then
literally
not
doing
fulfilling
nothing.
it.
Yeah.
But just because you know you'll get their votes.
Yeah. Yep. Amazing. So then we get on to the song "On the Balcony," right? Something like "On the Balcony." So up until this point,
We
though,
love
by the
it.
way, there's no storyline. Like there is a story, but there's no rising and falling. It's just constant assault on your senses.
I
up
mean, it's
until
just
this
like
point.
factual, like autobiography. Like, here's what happened.
Yeah, it was really boring. And just no up and down and exhausting.
Yeah, because it's like the boring stuff.
Yeah, and then we get Don't Cry for Me the first time. We could talk about it. It's the most famous song,
It's the best song.
but I almost don't want to give it respect.
Well, not when Madonna sings it, no.
Right? It's not good. And it's
When
also
Patti
not a good
LuPone
song.
singing it, when Elena Rogers singing it, yes.
I guess I'm not gonna harp on that. I didn't like it though.
Great.
And then we get this shitty mid '80s ballad by Celine Dion.
Oh, God.
High Flying Adored.
High Flying Adored?
Yeah.
One, we don't insult Celine Dion
Why not?
Thank you.
because she's incredible.
Shall we do it?
Shall we go for it?
Also, High Flying Adored is...
Yeah, I sing that on Saturday and you missed it. Anyway, High Flying Adored is a great song.
High Flying Adored is a great song.
Why?
It's
It's just fun.
It's exhausting.
Just let
pretty.
it happen. Yeah.
also got a pretty melody.
it
It's
sounds,
melodic.
It sounds like it's from the mid '80s.
And it's melodic and pretty while it's Che talking shit to her,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
pretty cool. No one can thrill you, nothing fulfill you.
You're not tackling my key point here. Is that it's boring as shit.
Fine.
If you keep calling everything boring,
Next.
this is going to be a really boring episode.
No, it's gonna be a great episode because everyone's gonna be, yeah, finally someone's saying what I'm thinking, and then they're gonna elect me president.
Hot takes on Evita.
That's exactly right.
Anyway, I love High Flying Adored, and I think that Antonio did a great job singing it.
Tony Bando.
A
You
fantasy
love
of the
Saint Tony
bedroom
Bando.
and a saint.
Wait, the fantasy of a bedroom.
Calls
and a
her the
saint.
fantasy of
Yeah.
the bedroom and a saint.
A
Right?
lady
And
in
a
the,
saint? Yeah.
a lady in the streets, but a freak.
Exactly. Exactly. That's Evita.
Nailed it.
We go to work. Yeah.
All right. Well, so we all agree that it was terrible.
I disagree.
And then,
That's one of the highlights of this show to me.
oh god,
This whole
It's
whole
when
next
Dan
three
says
songs.
we all agree. Oh, okay.
No. Of the show Evita.
then we get into Rainbow High and Rainbow
Don't
Tour.
say anything about Rainbow High and Rainbow Tour that is negative.
So good.
So good.
Rainbow High is my favorite song
I
in the
agree.
show.
Well, it's one of my favorites.
yeah.
My favorite's coming up.
What'll it be?
Rainbow Tour.
No, I also love Rainbow Tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, they're terrible songs. We all agree, but the scenes, the things that happen are cool. Where they're like they love her in. Where do they love her first?
Well,
Spain?
okay, so
Spain.
here's some history for you. It was actually Spain that invited Juan Perón,
Oh.
but he didn't want to go because they thought it would be just politically smarter to send Ava on
'Cause she's
on
more
his
likable.
behalf. Right?
Yeah.
And to give her a chance to kind of like create that diplomacy. And so she did well in Spain. She did well in France. I don't think she did very well in Italy.
In Italy, yeah, that's what they
But
said.
in reality, the place where she was pelted with rocks and tomatoes was actually Switzerland.
Oh.
And there was rumors within the opposition of Peronism that speculated that the reason that this whole Rainbow Tour happened is so that she could hide money in Swiss bank accounts.
Ah, so that's
Yeah.
why they were like, get out of
that-
here.
Well, I don't think that it's that the Swiss people knew that necessarily, but just that the whole this Rainbow Tour was sort of created as a facade. Like the whole thing was, they say that it was there to create diplomacy, learn about other governments, blah, blah, blah. But in fact, it was to go stash some cash away.
So they were doing something that is more publicly exciting so they could continue nefarious deeds.
Exactly, which is kind of the point of this whole show. Yeah.
And like Trump doing all the things he's doing.
Right.
Yeah. Also, at the end of that's very interesting. Another interesting point is at the end of Rainbow Tour, those two guys totally look like they're about to make out. They're like sitting on top of each other and like, yes.
They struck me as
Yes.
the and I will forever hate myself for not knowing the names of these characters, but the two Muppets.
Yeah, a little bit. Except for way more sexual tension between those two dudes. Yeah.
Great. And this is where we learned that Ava's not something's wrong with her. It's the first
Is
time
it?
we
It
hear.
is?
Ooh,
Yes.
Oh, where she's losing a little.
foreshadowing.
Losing some steam.
Yeah, which at first you just think like she's just being a prima donna.
Oh, I like
Boom.
that. Yeah, absolutely.
But turns out she's got cancer, which we'll find out later.
Yes.
The Money Keeps Rolling In was interesting.
This is my favorite
Yeah,
song.
it's a fun song.
This is your favorite song?
Absolutely my favorite song. And to hear Mandy Patinkin sing it,
Ooh.
it's so fun.
I gotta see what Mandy
It's so-
Patinkin looks like. That's such a great
Well, will you
name.
please play him singing The Money Keeps Rolling In?
Mandy Patinkin.
You are like our Mandy Patinkin in my mind.
I'm Mandy Patinkin.
You have the same brand.
When the money keeps rolling in, you don't ask how.
All right, I've got enough. That was not bad.
Will you play it from Spotify? Like from the
I've
actual
got
recording?
enough.
Yeah, Mandy Patinkin doing it was a little bit better. A little better.
Mandy Patinkin is a god.
And a great
yes.
name.
A
Just again,
golden
a
shimmering
fantastic
god.
name.
My name is Indigo Montoya.
I can't believe you
killed
haven't
my
seen
father.
Princess Bride. That's
prepared to
insane.
die.
Nope.
Has Liv seen it?
I think so, yeah.
How have you not seen it?
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't know if you know this, but Liv and I are two separate people.
I disagree.
But what very much irritated me about the movie is they cut out this whole line about basically half the storyline about these Swiss bank accounts that they have.
Right.
This is the one time in the show that they reference it, and they cut it out of the movie completely.
Yeah, and I did love Tony Bando's representation of her giving the money away, or like basically someone would throw a paper up in the air and they would get a vacation, like
Put
this
your name and
publisher's
dream on a
clearinghouse.
card or a pad or a ticket.
Yeah.
It's like,
Throw
oh,
it high in the air
what
and
a
shoot
great-
our lady picket.
all right.
Yeah, it's my favorite song. I'm telling you, I love it so much. But historically, it's all about her foundation that
Yeah,
she created.
which is
that was
maybe
she did a lot of great things through it.
Right,
A
sure.
lot. And actually, I was reading a little bit more about her in real life, and she spent so much time with the poor. I mean, they said she worked like 20 hours a day and on weekends, and she was constantly just trying to give back and do great things. So see, there's two different completely polar opposite characterizations of the person, Eva Perón.
Yeah.
So
It's a hard character to write, but they could have done a better job.
well, they based it off of a pretty scathing biography.
Sure.
Again, so.
Yeah. And then we get where we already mentioned Partido Feminista, which is the Feminist Party of Spain. That's what that actually stands for. And so they're in support of her. And anything else about that? It's that this is actually in this song, because this whole time I'm like, is she? I can't tell if she's actually like someone that is a good person. But at least in this song, you kind of get to go like, all right, so yes, she is. It's just also she's a little bit bad.
Depending on what you believe.
I don't know if it's
Yeah.
bad. I just think
It's a little scandalous.
ambitious.
Yeah, ambitious, sure. She is a Diamond is next. Skip it. And then she gets sainthooded, right? This is where she gets
She's
sainted.
never really a saint.
Well, it's like she's being anointed somehow in the show, and then she collapses.
right?
You know,
Yeah.
I think you don't think that was trying to imply that she was like in the midst of being sort of.
I mean, well, she was.
given
She was.
sainthood.
I mean, she was extremely well loved. As I said, she just spent.
But I mean that scene, like where like she's being given some sort of sign of the cross.
I think I walked away.
Oh, yeah, you might have.
Yeah.
A lot of explosions again. A lot of explosions.
Boom kapow.
Um,
Oh, kapow boom.
and then I wrote, I have legitimately no idea what's happening right now. Why are we destroying pictures of her? At some point, they're crossing her out in the movie. I thought we liked her. I thought she was just a saint, and now we hate her.
Well, and that's the problem with what we've done with the movie is that we've, again, like Patty said, we've made it kind of all about her, like in a weird way, where we're not. It's just the character isn't clear. To your earlier point,
It's
the character
completely
is
different.
not clear.
And I'll tell you, so it's like the last 11 songs, more or less. We'll go 7, because I think your Rainbow Tour and all that, or not that, but are just a confusing mess of like, we got to get a lot more story into this. Let's just pile it in.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It doesn't make any sense.
And then in the movie,
Fair.
they added a song here.
Great. Which
Yeah.
one? You Must Love Me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, it's so bad.
Yeah.
I like You Must Love Me.
I literally wrote.
That's one of my favorites in the show.
Oh,
I literally wrote, I just blacked out. That was so boring.
I put shitty song.
I love it.
I mean, it won an Academy Award. So
It's one of my fave melodies.
I think Madonna also released it as a single, actually.
But
I don't like that.
Elena Rogers singing it is better.
I can't. I can't.
And I don't
do
know.
It. I've
You're
reached
not
my
going to look it up,
capacity.
but I just feel like if you did, you change your mind.
I have reached my capacity on Evita, and I told you that at the start of this, and yet you've both made me listen to more Evita today.
I think Ketita told you that would happen.
Catita.
I've decided to just call you Ketita.
I like that very much. I feel very good about this.
A little Katie. Then the waltz, which is exhausting and just goes on forever. But
And you can kind of notice that she's pregnant.
Sad
can you?
waltz.
I didn't even see. But yeah, it's like
Another sad waltz.
sad waltz. Yep. And then your little body, which is just
Very strange, very strange.
But she actually was a very little person.
Yeah, she was super short.
Tiny, little petite thing.
little petita.
Petita, Evita.
Petita.
Akita Evita.
Ketita discusses Petita Evita.
That was a
on
Rent
this week's
reference.
podcast.
In Magaldi's Rise.
Macaulay's Rise.
And then we do her final broadcast, which, like, here's the biggest, like, deflated balloon of this entire show. I know they so badly wanted the audience to just be so wrapped and enraptured by this and just, like, in tears and so sad that this woman is dying. And I'm just sitting here like, can we get this over with? I got to run.
Well, I mean, you hated it from the start.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
That's a problem.
The way that they made this show, it was like, you should be very emotionally scarred
I don't know
right now.
about that. I don't think that they present Evita throughout this entire show as like a beloved, like as the audience you're supposed to love
Really?
her.
Well, they're crying.
Well, I mean,
people
they
are.
ask. She says, "You must love me." She's trying real hard to pull it in.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that draw.
No,
myself.
No. Did you in the show? Have you the Broadway show? Did you feel emotionally?
Yeah, I did. I was very sad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't seen this much of the movie, so I couldn't tell you.
It ain't great.
It seems like a bummer.
And she
But it
also, when she's dying in bed, she speaks most of her lines.
Oh,
Right.
weird.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that
she's
doesn't
singing.
happen in the show
No.
either. You don't like see her sick.
Oh.
It just she like collapses and it's
Oh.
sad, and then I'm pretty sure it just like gets to her funeral.
Oh. Which that so much better.
So that made it sadder because then you don't like
You don't
see
get to-
someone acting awfully
Right.
and not sick, and then you're just like, why are you doing this?
yeah, and you don't
Yeah.
have to labor through 4 more songs.
Yeah, because it's unimportant
Well,
too.
you don't have to use the vehicle of like cry lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, when she's doing that and her voice cracks, and you're just like, yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god, Madonna, that's so
It's
embarrassing.
very dramatic. But
So embarrassing.
but her eye makeup for a dying lady looks great.
She looks fantastic.
She looks great through this entire film, I believe.
Well-
and she looks oddly familiar to the real life Ava Perón.
Oh, does she? I have to
Yes.
look it up.
Familiar? That was
Similar.
the wrong word.
Similar.
She looks very similar to Ava Perón.
Yeah.
She really
When
does.
she's in that deathbed, she's like really hanging on to her life in a
and
way.
her acting chops.
And well, in the same way that Madonna hangs on to her youth, desperately and disgustingly.
Wow.
Patriarchy.
Wow.
How
A woman can't just age.
Yeah, a woman can age, but if you're gonna get on stage in leather underwear at 55, you're hanging on to your
I
youth.
think you've just turned off like 75% of your viewership.
I agree.
Listenership?
Thank God it's
Some
not.
kind of
Thank God it's not
listenership.
live.
That ship has sailed.
Thank God it's
Hey.
not live.
I'm really
Ship.
proud of that
Oh,
joke. Yeah,
there
yeah,
it
yeah.
is. Whatever
Really-
ship it is, it's sailed.
Keep that in.
All right.
Okay.
Except for I don't
Just with
want
no context. We edit everything out in the conversation.
we can add it to one of the other negative comments.
Yeah,
on that.
true.
And then it ends, right? Can we? I mean, does it end? Can we say
Well-
it ends? Oh boy.
The movie ends. But
Oh, you're right. This is actually cool. This is
the second most egregious thing about the movie, and Katie, you would not know this having never made it through,
Yeah, I would never know.
is that Che's last line is cut.
yeah.
Where he
Which is
talks
such a
about-
cool line. Actually, that was where I was like, all right, I'm on board with
Right.
this.
A monument is being built in her name, and her body disappears for
17
years.
They cut that.
Yeah.
It's not in the movie.
Why? Why the hell did they cut that?
Happy ending.
I think it was to have an ending. What I love about this show is that it ends on a cliffhanger. It makes
Yeah.
you. It drives you to want to go find out more.
Yeah, what happened to her
about
body for 17 years?
Well, so I know.
Oh, what happened?
Yeah.
Tell
I
us.
got you. I got you. So this is actually having
You're
listened
her.
to that.
You are Eva Peron.
Time traveler.
Bow, bow, bow. Pew, pew, pew.
Evita 3, Melissa's Rise. Melissa's Rise.
Return of Melissa.
Evita 3, fuck McGaldy. Long live Melissa.
Melisita. Anyway, so when she died, they had kind of the best in the biz embalmer come and pump her full of all kinds of stuff.
Embalming liquids.
Yeah, but they did it in a way that she remained looking very lifelike.
Oh.
Very lifelike. And they had her body, obviously they did the whole funeral thing and that went on for a while, but then her body was on display in a glass coffin for 2 years in a government building.
2 years, her body, like
Oh,
you
I
could
got
just
more
go
for
see
you.
it?
Yeah, you could go see it. Yeah.
For 2 years.
Yes, it was displayed in one of the government
People
buildings in Argentina.
decompose.
And I'm saying they
They
had
had so much
pumped
involvement.
they
her.
did this like
They
amazing
probably
job
just kept
on her,
doing it too.
and they made her
Some
and
like
she looked-
Egyptian shit, perhaps.
Anyway.
So they had planned to construct a memorial in her honor, and it was supposed to be. So one thing I don't think we mentioned is the group that she represented. They call them the Descamisados, right?
Yeah, they said it a few
So it
times.
was supposed to be a descamisado, and it was going to be taller than the Statue of Liberty. So I mean, she was just a really beloved person, and she was going to be interred. She was going to be placed at the base of it.
Oh, okay.
And so, in the time that it took them to build this monument, Perón was overthrown.
Oh.
And he was
Perón
actually
overthrown.
Perón got overthrown, and he was exiled. He
By
moved.
Patty
He
LuPone.
moved to Spain. And at that time, they took the display down. They took her body on display down, and no one knew what this new government regime did with it for like 16 or 17 years.
I mean, in all likelihood, it just was like locked in some basement, like an old file.
Well, so
But-
in those 16 years, they actually made it illegal to possess photos or even speak the name Juan Perón or Eva Perón.
What?
This new regime did. And
Talk about fascism.
they finally
Bowie.
came out and admitted that they had stored it in a crypt in Italy, but that they had stored it standing up. So it wasn't like her body wasn't laid down; it was standing.
So the embalming liquid all ran or something?
It didn't run, but it did kind of destroy one of the feet of the body, and there was some damage to the face. So in 1971, I took some notes.
Yeah.
It was exhumed, and speaking of this great love, it was stored by Juan Perón and his current wife in their dining room
The body.
on display in its glass coffin on a pedestal in their dining
A
room.
a partially decomposed body,
Yes.
20 years old,
Yes,
around, give or take.
in a glass coffin
That's fucking.
in his dining room. So when he got out of exile, he actually went back to Argentina and became president.
Oh.
And he, there were a few other kind of crazy body capers, if you
boy.
will. Like there were other bodies that were stolen in retribution for her body being missing.
Hidden.
It was all
Okay.
kinds of kind of craziness. And it was finally laid to rest in a secured tomb
Thank God.
in her. And actually, after Juan Perón's death, his wife became president. She was the first female
Which you
president
said,
in the
yeah.
Western Hemisphere.
Yeah.
And she had Ava's body buried next to Juan Perón's body when he died.
That's nice
That's
of
where
her.
she finally was laid to rest.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What about the monument? They just said, nah,
Yeah.
we're good.
Well, if you think they were building this monument to these descamisados, and
Yeah, then they overthrew him.
yeah, we're down with that. So,
Yep.
kind of a crazy story.
Wild.
Yeah,
That's
Wow.
insane.
yeah.
Jeez.
Can you imagine just living with a dead body?
That's
Your
a-
husband's ex-wife's?
Yeah, and on display. Like, all right, it's in the garage. Fine. It's or it's
in our
ashes.
living room, we
In the
have
living room in a
we
glass
have a
case.
freaking dead person in our living room.
Yuck.
That's insane.
You're a zombie. You are a zombie.
Maybe.
Maybe they wanted. Maybe
Maybe
the
he liked to
Peróns
like
are
bang
zombies.
it.
Well, probably.
Well, there were
sure
some
there were
details
others.
in the research that I read that talked
you
about.
left out.
Yeah, I just called them. I think what I believe I called them are.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he did like to bang it.
Well, not him. Not him.
How
During the
sad.
other body
people.
capers,
Oh,
I would
no.
say
Yeah.
there was rumours that like wax copies were made of the body and stuff. Like just some kind of weird,
Creepy.
real weird
Sad.
stuff.
Creepy. And on that note, let's take it to the segments.
Cool.
Overall, really rough musical for me. Did not enjoy it whatsoever. I enjoyed it just about as much as I would enjoy a 20-year-old partially decomposed body in my living room in a glass case.
Isn't there one?
There is one, and I don't enjoy it, and I'm trying to get it out of here, but it will not leave. It is a nuisance. This body. So with the time we have remaining, the guest usually gets to pick. Would you like to rate it? Play hashtag that. Play once you pop the song, the show tune don't stop, or tell us who you would relate to. No, we'll do them all. It's just which one do you want to do first?
Oh, go ahead and rate it.
You want to rate it first?
Yeah.
All right, Katie, what you got? Start it off.
The music, I think, like a 4.5
4.5.
out of 5.
Yuck.
I think it's great. Some of them get a little boring, but I think overall, like, I really enjoy the music to this show. Writing, I don't know. It takes like a little bit to get there, but it's her whole life.
Yeah.
Maybe a 4. And the pageantry, it's a big show. I give it a 5 out of 5. Whew. Especially like the
Some
costumes
good
from what
stories.
I've seen in the movie are really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. well,
Again, like this is not for the movie.
Sure.
This is for the Broadway production that I saw. I'm going to
All
be
right,
very clear.
What you got?
Well, for the writing, I'm actually going to give it a 3.
Okay.
I remember when our parents went to go and see this. I did not go with them, but they went to go see it, and I remember them coming home and our mom being just exasperated, sort of feeling like you feel now.
Yeah,
At how
this is the
terrible
worst.
and unable to follow
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
And I remember Dad, because I am his mini-me,
Yeah.
being enthralled by the history of it and like really exciting. But I do acknowledge it's really challenging
Yeah.
to get through.
Yep.
For sure.
So 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5 for writing.
All right.
Pageantry, I'm going to give it a 4.
4.
I think that this is a really fun story. There's a lot of like color and like the Rainbow Tour stuff, Rainbow High, and just kind of very fun.
Yeah. Okay.
The music, I'm going to give a 5. It's my favorite musical, so I don't know how I could give it anything less. I love it. I love it.
It's good songs.
That's those are some high scores.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna see some similarities here. For the writing, it is historical, which is nice. So I'm gonna give it 1 Aldi grocery store out of 5.
Magaldi.
One McAldi's grocery store out of 5.
Okay. How many Peroni?
Well, that's next.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I apologize.
Yeah.
You stole the bit.
For the music, I'm gonna give it about a -42
Oh.
Peroni bottles of beer
Oh.
out of 5.
Disappointing.
There's no good song. There's 0 good songs in the whole show. It's horrible. And for the pageantry, I'm gonna give it just probably a cool 0 quetitas
Is it fair
out
to
of 5.
Is it fair to say that this has been your lowest rated show
Yes.
to date on your podcast?
It absolutely is fair
So
to say.
I'm going to take a lot of pride in that.
You should. Oklahoma was pretty low as well.
Yeah.
But not quite as low as this. Because at least Oklahoma was pretty easy to follow.
Yeah.
This
No,
was
this
just
is
a chaotic mess.
This is like your vegetables. Like you have to eat your vegetables.
Do
This is
you,
like,
though?
This is like the broccoli of musicals.
Is it though?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah.
It's like the overcooked, mushy, salty,
It's like a Brussels sprout.
over-salted Brussels sprout of musicals.
Like sometimes it's good,
Yeah.
but you have to eat it.
If you mix it with bacon, Patty LaCombe.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
I disagree.
And
If
then
you mix it with Patankin.
Hey. Hey there.
You did it.
Thank you.
So I think we got a couple of 4s and 5s from that group, and a lot of 0s from this side of the table.
And can we also comment?
Yeah, Todd.
Yeah, my husband is sitting in this room with us, and he, as we were having Daniel rate it, he lifted up his shirt
And gave it a big 0.
and he gave it a 0.
I think he gave it 0 nipples out of 5
Yeah.
nipples.
The nap I took during the movie was a 5.
Oh.
Though.
He said his nap was a 5.
Nap was a 5 out of
Yeah.
So in nap ratings, we're good. All right, so let's go. Let's go. Once you pop the show, tune don't stop. Next, ready? 1, 2, 3. Once you pop the show, tune don't stop. There you go. You got
Yes.
it. You got it.
In on it.
So obviously in this segment we replace one of the songs with a pop song of sorts, any sort of other popular non-musical based song. I'll start
Okay.
because it's a rock opera, and I think the Guy Fieri of rock operas is the wonderful singer Meatloaf.
Oh,
And-
Meatloaf is so scary.
He's a disaster of a human. And I wanted to replace the song Rainbow High with I Would Do Anything for Love by Meatloaf.
Love it.
Isn't that good?
Love it.
I would do anything for love. That's Meatloaf right there.
I know that song.
Yeah, so. But I won't do that. But she will do that.
She will do a lot.
Yeah. So that's mine. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. The song I chose does not replace a specific song in the show, but I think it's more of like a vibe of Evita.
Okay.
And it's Crush, and it's just a little crush, not like every time. She's basically like, I like you a little bit, but I don't like you that much, so like don't get
all
too
right.
attached.
I
like,
get you.
calm down. You're fine, but I
mostly care about your power.
I'm fine too. Like it's not a big deal. So I think it's like a Evita vibe of like I'm okay without you, but we're okay together, so it's fine.
Okay. That's what you think she is with Juan.
With like anyone,
Okay.
but Juan too.
Yeah, Juan.
Yeah.
All right, what you got?
Well, in a similar vein, I don't know if I would replace. Possibly, I would replace "Good Night" and "Thank You," but it's sort of like similar to where you went with that, Katita, and it is the song "Man Eater" by
DH&J-O, Daryl Hall and John Oates. Of
Nelly
course.
Furtado.
Yeah, you're right.
"Man Eater" by Nelly Furtado.
Yeah, perfect is that last week the episode's not been released yet, so there's no way you could know this. My replaced song was the Nelly Furtado song.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. So no,
Siblings.
not the Hall & Oates version.
No, the
Nelly
Nelly
Furtado.
Furtado one.
Ah,
Ooh,
everybody look at
I'm
me.
like a bird. Oh God, she
Do you know
is
the song
another
Man Eater
disaster.
by Nelly
No, I
Furtado?
can't wait to listen to it though.
Great.
We'll put it as a part.
I
of
hope you can
this.
put it in.
Another disaster of a human. I wanted to participate. That's why I went with Meatloaf, and I was really proud of that selection. But my original choice was that I would replace all of the songs, not any, all of the songs with someone scraping their nails on a chalkboard.
You're such a
song.
little butt
I
face.
would replace it.
You're such a little butt.
Oh man.
All right, where do you want to go next? So we've got hashtag that, and who do you relate to?
Who do you relate to?
You want to do that next? All right, you go first. You haven't gone first yet.
Okay. It's kind of slim pickings on who you relate to.
Yeah.
You
I
don't
cer-
really want to relate to anyone.
Well, I certainly don't relate to Evita at all, actually.
And anyone who says they do is just a little too
Well,
about
maybe- you
themselves.
don't know what
But
Katita's
Katie's
gonna
probably
say.
it.
But
Dan always does that. He's
do,
like,
I
anyone
do.
who does that is a piece of shit human. I'm like, well, cool. Hello.
sign me up.
Yeah. All right, what do you got?
So I just, especially given the current political climate, I have to say Che.
Okay, yeah. You're gonna lead the rebellion.
Yes.
Yep. All right, I
And
like
try anyway.
It's a very noble answer. I like
Hashtag
that.
resist.
it. There you go.
Yes.
Boom. What you got?
Hashtag persist. Well, I was gonna say Evita.
Yeah, no, you say what you're gonna say.
Just like I don't relate to like the blind ambition, but I do relate to the ambition.
Okay, you from the ambition side of it.
Yeah.
I gotcha. That's not so vain.
Like specific things that she does are not my steez, but
You're what?
my style. My steez.
I am-
People have been saying that for so long.
I am rapidly becoming an old man. There's new words every day that I have never heard before.
Steez is very old.
Okay,
It's like from the 90s, I feel.
I've never heard that before. All right, so you would be Evita for her ambition. You relate to Evita.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
I thought long and hard about this, and I decided that I relate most to Ava Perón's dad because he so badly didn't want to be a part of the story that he died right when it started. And if I had to watch this again, I would rather die. So
And
that's who I relate to. Is Mr. Perón. Don Perón. No, not Perón.
yeah, he's not Perón.
Whatever her last name is.
Great.
McGillicuddy.
Duarte.
Duarte.
But I don't think that was
Don
his
Duarte.
name.
Oh, right, because she was a bastard. All right, so we need to bring it home.
Bring it home with the hashtag.
I'm really happy with my hashtag, but it's got such a similar theme to everything else I said today that I'll just go ahead and go first.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
say
gonna be
it.
a surprise. Mine is hashtag do cry for me, Argentina. For instance, had to spend my morning watching Madonna act. Hashtag do cry for me, Argentina. So, what you don't have to participate. You're welcome to.
I have one.
Okay,
but I
good.
would like to go last.
Okay, Katie, what you got?
Does it have to be about Evita or can it
No,
be about
anything about anything, whatever. The other one I had was have to go to 12 weddings this summer. Do cry for me, Argentina.
Hashtag look at who our president is.
Hashtag do.
Hashtag do cry for me, Argentina.
I've been sitting on a very uncomfortable stool and I'm old. Hashtag do cry for me,
I've
Argentina.
been bent over this whole time.
I have spent more time than most men have talking about Evita. Hashtag do cry.
That
for
is
me.
not
Whoa.
true.
That's
That
true.
is not
That
true.
was super sexist.
Whoa, look at
actually.
those gender
You're
norms.
right. I have spent more time than I would have ever cared to have spent talking about Evita. Hashtag do cry for me.
Love
Argentina.
that. Hate that, but love that.
All right. So who wants to go with their hashtag next?
Me next. I
Go
don't
for
have.
it.
I don't have one.
Great work.
Let's think of one.
I
Hashtag other things Madonna shouldn't do.
a high school cheerleader car wash. Hashtag things that Madonna also shouldn't do. Yeah. No, that's too far. I'm not gonna go there. have a child. Birth a child. Hashtag things probably she shouldn't do. She's a little old.
Girl, I
getting a little
can't
old.
do it.
Dance around in leather underwear on stage. Hashtag things Madonna shouldn't do.
That's true.
Yeah.
Nice callback.
Yeah. Do you have any, or do you want to skip? All right. Hashtag things Madonna shouldn't do. Continue to perform.
Ouch. Ouch.
Sick burn.
That's like my childhood.
No, I honestly don't have an issue with Madonna. The only issue is that she's this this sort of ageless ghoul that has been
God.
sent to haunt me. That's my only
no.
issue, though. So, all right.
God.
What's your hashtag?
So my hashtag is a play on one of my favorite songs from the show.
Oh, great.
And so it's hashtag high crying ignored.
High crying ignore.
So it's like,
I like
me
that.
after a fight with my husband. Hashtag high crying ignored.
I like because you could say that you are high or just crying at a high pitch and being ignored.
Right.
Yeah. I
Or
like
like me with a box of cookies watching The Notebook for the 50th time.
Yeah.
High crying ignored.
it. I like it.
Me on Valentine's Day this year.
High crying ignored.
Me talking shit about Madonna at a gay bar. Hashtag high
High
crying
crying
ignored.
ignored.
No one's gonna participate.
No one's going to
in that,
participate, and you're going to
probably.
feel very bad about yourself.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
That was good. That was good. I love the play on words.
So good.
All right. Well, that should just about bring us to the end here. Thank you so much for joining us, Melisita.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you both. I've been so desperate to be here.
So
and to
desperate.
hear my name spoken on this podcast. Avid listener.
She constantly tells me that I never talk about her on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, you once referred to me in regards to
I did.
buying winter clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, how come he doesn't have...
I do now. I do
He's
now.
a strange
I bought
bird.
them.
Thank goodness.
I bought them. We're good. And then this
And now you're
happened.
moving to LA.
Yes, and also. All right. Well, thank you so much for being
Oh.
with us.
Dan moving to LA. Hashtag high crying
and alone.
ignored.
Aw.
Ignored. That's right.
Sorry. Okay.
Donald Trump after he gets impeached. Hashtag high crying
Orange
ignored.
crying ignored.
That's right. All right. Thank you all very much for listening. As always, we love you so much.
We love you very much.
Katie just sort of hanging back, agreeing. I just
nodded in approval. Like, yeah, I agree.
Thank you so much for listening. And as always,
I'm
tweet her.
Katie. Is that what I'm
Tweet-
supposed to
tweet.
say? Oh, definitely please tweet us. We love talking to you on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's pretty much me, and I love talking to you on Twitter.
I try to. The other day I tried. I was so excited to tweet some Sweeney Todd references, but I didn't have the login for the MusiPals, so I just
Oh, I'm
mentioned on
sorry.
my own. But anyway,
Well, Thanks, Katita. Thanks, Danita.
You're so welcome, and thank you, Melisita.
Thank you.
Obviously, listen to MusiPals wherever you listen to music to podcasts, as long as that's on either SoundCloud or iTunes.
Yeah.
Podcasts, because that's the only place we are.
Exactly.
All right, thanks so much. Goodbye. Start that again because I fuck it up every time.
At 6s and 7s with you.
Okay.
Nope.
Damn it.
She had to let it happen.
I had to let it happen.
I had to let it happen.
She had to change.
She had to change. She
What does she want to do?
Stay all my life.
She had to change.
So I chose freedom. Running around.
What'd you say?
trying everything new.
Everything.
New. At all.
This is a long ass verse.
We're there now.
I never. Okay.